Shalom, I'm Yehoshua, and this video is being made from Jerusalem. Let's see, Barak is talking in Bloomington, Indiana. Shalom to Bloomington, Indiana, to Selebius, the governor, and all the people in Bloomington, Indiana. Let's see, change is not going to occur unless we change the way government operates. Okay, in the generality, that's reasonable. Let me suggest a context. There is soon to be a change recognized in America that's going to come out of Jerusalem, in particular in Israel in general, that's going to be recognized as having changed the world, and I'm talking about the end of the exile of man and mankind. Now, what does this mean? The proof that this has happened began in February the 26th, 1991, when Bush Sr. drove the column out of Kuwait. That was the beginning of the invasion of Iraq, and when that happened, years later, the local reality collapsed. Now let's say what else happened. In the same year of this event, 1991, on December 25th, in the Soviet Union, communism collapsed. In the Soviet Union, on December 25th, 1991, the local reality was its communism had collapsed. The next year, 1992, the local reality in Yugoslavia collapsed. What was its local reality? Communism. It collapsed. And subsequently in 1995, in Israel, with the murder of Rabin on November 5th, 1995, the local reality collapsed here. And what was the local reality? It's Zionism. It collapsed on 9/11, but one needs a further explanation from the meta-narrative, and that's in the video blog of YYBA1 in YouTube. That's me. Let me reintroduce myself, because perhaps nobody got it. I'm Yehoshua. I'm an American citizen. I live in Jerusalem for 22 years. I'm a world-class didactic scientist, the author of the trilogy Humanomics, 2,500 pages in its 5th draft to be published on the web, with a few hundred graphics. I get a lot of emails asking me when they can get it. I don't know. When it's time for it to be published, it'll be published. It moves at its own pace. It has its own. Okay, moving on. I'm the author of that trilogy, Humanomics. And what is Humanomics? It is the East-West convergence model for the post-collapse of the local reality globally. Now let me explain what that means. The trilogy is comprised of 2 first principles: the new cognitive behavioral science first principle and the new economic paradigm first principle. The first, cognitive behavioral science, receiving to give. It replaces the old model of exile, which was giving to receive. And what that means is this: the anthropologic, psychologic, sociologic model of man and mankind's mind was giving to receive, which means I give, I get. Okay, that collapsed, and that's not returning, folks. That was the model of the self-incarceration and the imprisonment of man within his mind, the mind-body problem, which is esoteric beyond the limits of this video. It's collapsed. The thousands of years that man and mankind in general, and Klal Yisrael waited and prayed and patiently cried out for this, it has finally come to be. And interestingly, at a time where there is the nascent movement of secular humanism, particularly in America, and we see atheism is in full bloom. Of course, their sponsors are suspected of being closet communists or socialists, but we don't live in the age of McCarthy, and so they have to tip their hand. But of course, America is naive and gullible, so we'll see what plays out. And anybody who challenges them are called fascists. Well, fascism is as opposed to communism and socialism. But its solution was a bigger problem than communism and socialism. So, okay, so the answer is the end of man and mankind's exile. The solution is the East-West convergence model, which is Humanomics, and it has a participatory face, and it takes the best of both models. Okay, so having said that, let's get on with what's important to Bloomington, Indiana. I know this is all informative, but come on, let's get to the bottom line, Yehoshua, formerly Michael O'Donnell. What's gonna give us what's in this for Americans? Jobs, jobs, jobs. That's what. Okay, the new economic paradigm. The President Obama will seek and without a doubt secure not only election, but after the coronation, he will seek a mandate from the U.S. Congress, and he will get it, to develop, implement, and acculturate the new economic paradigm as world-class global technological infrastructure that will retool, retrain, and re-educate the entire U.S. workforce, creating tens of millions of jobs. The project life will run 20 years. It'll require a $4 to $5 trillion investment amortized over 20 years. It'll eliminate the national debt. That will, in the bell curve, it'll peak out at around 15 trillion. It'll eliminate the Social Security deficit, the trade deficit, and it will create tens of millions of sustainable domestic content jobs beginning by the end of year one. It'll be creating tens of thousands of domestic content sustainable jobs by years 3 and 4 at double the index of present wages for workers and professionals, and it will triple by years 9 through 11. This is a win-win situation. The most blessed development of all will be the world-class intellectual property, the new science and technology and its enabling technologies, which I own, I developed. I'm the author of Humanomics and its two paradigms. The intellectual property will be put into irrevocable trust. We don't need another Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, so I'm not going to, and I'm too old and have no inclination or interest. So we'll put it in irrevocable trusts for the workers, and we will see that the 80-20, 70-30 shakedown of Wall Street over Main Street gets an equitable distribution of participation for all working Americans and for their children and their children's children. And they get a fair deal. And a lot of other problems will be solved. Most significantly will be significant surpluses in the out years from 15 to 20 that will raise up dramatically the double and triple the foreign aid to eliminate starvation, illiteracy, and disease, and all the other maladies of the LDCs. Well, it's a win-win situation. Okay, so this is what you're going to do in Indiana, in Bloomington, in North Carolina, and I saw that the governor of North Carolina came out today and endorsed. Endorsed the Senator Clinton. Well, folks, that's a rerun of what we saw with Eliot Spitzer in New York, and that's called, let's see what we can steal, and let's see if we can steal the electorate away from the candidate, Barack Obama. Let me just point something out. Barack Obama is getting the endorsement. He has the endorsement. My endorsement. I endorse this message. I endorse him for president. And North Carolina was, in the research triangle, was going to get a very, very significant participation in this project nationally when the mandate is drawn up. Well, let me just be very clear. If by any chance that there's a rerun of the theft of the plurality of the public vote, that's going to shift to Indiana. North Carolina has to prove itself. It has to going to have to vote overwhelmingly in support of Obama to retain an earlier willingness and commitment, but not a promise, to make the research there. Okay, having said that, think Humanomics in general, the new economic paradigm in particular, and I'm Yehoshua Yaakov. Thank you for listening. This is a win-win situation, and you got a winner. You got a world-class candidate in Barack Obama. Back him 100%. Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you for listening.